Well, hello, everybody. It is Tuesday night, 7 o'clock or maybe 7:01. It is time for Grandstanding with Mother Teresa. Grab your favorite snack, your favorite beverage, call a friend, text a friend, click share, do whatever you need to do in order for you to enjoy being with me for the next 30 minutes or so. So I wanted to talk to you all a little bit. Let me close out some of this stuff that I have in front of me. It is a distraction, so let me close out some of this stuff. I wanted to share with you all tonight the topic about lifelong learning. And boy, that's a mouthful. Not only is it a mouthful, but it's a lot to comprehend. And so I wanted to share with you all some information about, as a lifelong learner, you are constantly learning. I like to think that if you are alive, you can learn something new on today. And I just wanted to thank everyone for joining me on tonight, as we are grandstanding with Mother Teresa. This is the platform that God has given me to just come on and just to encourage each other, the ones that are tuning in, a platform to celebrate the goodness that is happening not only in my life, but also to highlight some of the good things that you all are sharing. The listeners or the ones that are joining in, the followers are sharing with me as well. I always say that this is strictly for entertainment purposes only. And when I say entertainment, I don't mean whatever. It is not a counseling session. It is strictly just me sharing strategies with you about some of my life experiences and some of the experiences that some of maybe my family members or some of the friends that I have. So thank you again for joining me. Let's talk about lifelong learning. First of all, let me just say, age is just a number. And you do not get to a certain age and you discover that you are no longer learning. You hear people say age is just a number. Well, age is just a number. And lifelong learning knows no bounds. It is not bound by the time that you graduate from high school or graduate from college. It just doesn't stop there. It continues, and we're learning. We're ever learning all different types of things. Hey, everybody, I see my mom is watching. I see my sister Veronica is watching. I see that my children are watching. My husband is watching. I think maybe my granddaughter is on here. So you all that are on here, come on, you all tell somebody else, share this live and get some more people in here so we can all grandstand together. And as we are grandstanding, we talk about, like I said, different types of things. And so tonight, it's lifelong learning. I want to ask you a question. What is a skill or what is something? It could be a subject. It could be a hobby. What is something that you have wanted to do for a long time and you haven't done it yet? And it's something that could be a little bit out of your comfort zone, or it could be something that's going to cost you some time. It's going to cost you some effort. It's going to cause you to get outside of the box that you are normally in. So what is that one thing that you've been wanting to do and you've just been putting it off and putting it off? Think about it. And as you're thinking about it, put it in the chat so I can call some of those things off or call them out. Well, let me take you on my journey. And of course, I always say, no one can tell your story better than you can. All right. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Candace. So let's talk about lifelong learning. First of all, growing up, as a child, I loved going to school. I loved being a student. I loved playing school. In the summertime, my sister Cynthia would always be the teacher. So we would sit out on the steps at home And we would play in the summertime, we would play school. Now, let me just tell you, we would always ask for, at the end of the school year, the teachers would have all these worksheets and they would have all this extra stuff that they didn't do during the school year. So we would always ask for all of those papers, all of those worksheets, and all of those things, because we knew we were going to be playing school. And the apartments that we lived in, the steps that we had leading up to our apartment, it was like stair steps. And so the stair steps made excellent desks. So we could actually sit in on the stairs with like our legs hanging down. And then the next step would actually be our desk. So we would sit out there and we would play school. And again, my sister Cynthia, most of the time, would be the teacher. She wanted to be a teacher. And we would just have a good time. And so we were those kids that, even though we were out of school, we still wanted to be in school, or at least played like we wanted to be in school. And so, and as I was a student in school, I was a good student. I was not in the top 10 of my class, but I was a great student. I made good grades. And I was not one of those students who would get in trouble. I loved learning. And because I loved learning, I listened and I paid attention in class. And so during the summertime when school was out, like I said, we played school. And then I was always ready to go back to school. We would have our summer breaks, our Christmas breaks. But when it was time to go back to school, I was ready. And so I knew that I was a learner. I knew that I was a good student. And then after high school, I wanted to go to college, and that's kind of that natural progression. My brother had went away to college, and I was thinking, okay, if he can do it, I can do it too. So I wanted to go to college. And so as soon as I graduated from high school, Nacogdoches High School, I enrolled at Stephen F. Austin. Now, Stephen F. Austin, which is a university, very different from high school. Very, very different. And so I thought I was a good student. But when I enrolled in Stephen F. Austin, I realized that I wasn't quite prepared as I should have been. And for those of you all who have followed me and know me, you also know that that I had my daughter Net when I was in high school. And so not only did I have my daughter that I was trying to take care of, me and my husband, he wasn't my husband at the time, but I was trying to be a student. And then I was also trying to work because I had to take care of my daughter. But I quickly realized that, hey, this is not the time for me to be in school. And let me just say, sadly, I was there for 1 year and then I dropped out. I knew that I wanted to get back in school, but it also, when life happens, when you have responsibilities, as a mom, especially as a teen mom, and you have goals and you have dreams that you want to accomplish, you got to go to work. And so I knew that for me, making a failing grade in college was not something that I was used to, because I wasn't failing classes in high school. If I made a C in high school, that was something that was like, oh my goodness. But I started failing. I failed a course. I failed a math course in college. And my grades was just not what I was accustomed to. So, of course, hey, Sylvia, and Sister Sherry. So I dropped out. And I was like, okay, I'll get back to this. And let me just tell you, when I share my story, I always have to tell you how good God is, because when I dropped out of college after just 1 year, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to drop out and then I'm going to come back, wait a year, and then I'll come back. Well, let me just tell you, that year turned into 10 years before I decided, or I was in a position and also had, I guess, maybe the luxury of going back to school. During that period of time, I got married. I had another child. Uh, I had probably bought like two houses in between that time. Was working and doing all of those different things. But one of the things I also knew, the reason why I had to get back in school. Hey, hello, Betty. How are you? I'm glad you're watching. I knew that I had to get back in school because guess what, you all? As a young mom and as a young wife, trying to live off of wages that were poverty level wages. I thank God that my husband have always had a really good job, but because of the wages that I was making at the time, I was like, we can't survive off of this. There's nothing that I'm going to be able to do. Remember, my goal was to move across town. Remember, I told y'all I wanted to get across town. So I knew that education was going to be the key. I knew that I had to get myself back in school so we can earn some money, so I could earn some money to help contribute to my family. And so I did. 10 years later, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go back to school. And it came right on time because not only did I go back to school after that 10-year period, but what happened was I was contacted by a friend. I know Mary is not watching, but Mary Bareka was a great friend of mine. And she had contacted me and she said, Teresa, would you like to come and work for the co-op, which it was Nacogdoches County Co-op? And remember, we're talking about learning and education and all of those types of things. So I'm going somewhere. Now, you all know, if you've been watching me, you know that I go down a lot of rabbit trails before I can actually get back to where I'm supposed to be. But she offered me the job and she was saying, this job is for a paraprofessional or teacher's aide, and I just need you to work with one student. If you can come in and you can work with this one student, then that's what I need you for. And so, let me tell you all about that job. And I've shared this with my mom. I've shared this with my husband and my family. But I was recently talking to my mom about this position, you all. This was in 1991. And if this doesn't make you say, okay, I need to make sure I'm learning as much as I possibly can to position me in the very best place that I need to be, this story should do it for you. I accepted that job as a paraprofessional. And guess how much they paid me? I want you all to guess for the year. You all put how much. Now, this was 1991. So guess how much they were paying me for the year. Yes, I dropped out as a freshman. Yes, you dropped out as a freshman at Stephen F. Austin. 10 years later. Actually, yes, I'm going to talk about that too, honey. But I want you all to guess how much I was making as a paraprofessional per year in 1991. Okay. Now, remember, I had 2 children at the time. I had a husband. I had a home that we had purchased, probably, nice cars, because God has always had shown favor to me and my family. Okay, let's see. Do I have any guesses in here? Come on, you all. How much do you all think I was making in 1991 as a paraprofessional working in the school district? If one person can okay, listen, this is the way we're going to do it. I need you all to put some numbers in this chat. And for those of you all that put the numbers in the chat, we're going to be giving away a copy of Conversations from the Mother's Heart and also Tales from the Clothesline. So I want the person who get the closest to it, that's who I'm going to send you a copy of this book. Okay, I see some money coming in. I see some dollar signs coming in. Okay, so I've got 2 people that have put their numbers in. Candace said $20,000. Jackie said $12,000. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all. Come on, y'all. Put those numbers in there, but I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all because I know our time is going to run out. Both of you all are way over. For the year that I worked as a paraprofessional for Nacogdoches County Co-op, they paid me $7,500 for the whole year. You heard me right. $7,500 for the entire year. That equated to about, I think my checks were about $457 each month. That meant I went to work every single day and I only brought in about $457 for the month, you all. Yeah. Thank God for his grace, and I thank God for his provision, because it was only by the grace of God that we made it, okay? So let's get back to my story. So I was offered that job, and I decided that, okay, if I'm going to do this, because I really liked working in the school district, and I decided that if I am going to do this, I am going to need to finish this college degree. Remember, we're talking about lifelong learning. And I decided that I was going to go back to school while I was working there at the co-op, and I was going to finish this degree. And so I knew that I wanted to be a social worker. Remember, I told you all that when I was a young girl, I would always talk to the neighbors, the elderly people in my community. I wanted to talk to them to see what was going on in their life, and you know, how I could do what I could do. You know, even as a young girl, I always knew that I wanted to help. And so I wanted to know what I could do as a young child, but also when I became an adult, to maybe help, you know, the situation that a lot of my neighbors were living in. And so what I did is I enrolled back into Stephen F. Austin. Now, remember, it had been 10 years, but I enrolled back into Stephen F. Austin. And I knew that in order to get the social work license, there was a second route that I could go to get it a little bit quicker. And so that route was having an associate's degree. That would at least get me in the door. So what I decided to do was I enrolled in Stephen F. Austin, and I enrolled in Angelina Junior College. So I was going to a junior college and a university at the exact same time. I would go and I would take classes at the university, and I would go and I would take social work classes at the junior college. And I did that because I knew that I could get done faster and get that licensure much quicker if I had an associate's degree first. So that was the plan. And let me just tell you, I thank God for my husband, because he watched my girls, he watched our girls, and he took care of them while I went to school. And a lot of times I would go to work during the daytime, and on my lunch break, sometimes I would have to go and do the laundry. And at nighttime, when I would get off from work, I would go straight to school. Many nights I was driving to Lufkin, which is the next town over from Nacogdoches. And I did that for probably 2.5 years. And so what I did when I was doing that, of course, like I said, I was trying to hear of it. You know, I had a goal, you all. I had a goal. And my goal was to finish with both of those degrees and then take that social work exam. So I graduated from Angelina College in May of 1995. And then I graduated from Stephen F. Austin in December of 1995. So within 6 months, I had 2 degrees. And also I was ready to take my social work exam. So let me tell you all, when I say if I can do it, anybody can do it, you all. It just takes some effort. Remember, we're talking about lifelong learning. And what is the goal? What is something that you really want to do? Remember, I said you're either going to have to stretch yourself. You're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to step out of the bubble that you're in. And you're going to have to call on your village to help you. Because when you want to achieve something, it's going to cost you something, okay? It's going to cost you something in order to get to where you're trying to go. And as a lifelong learner, And trying to learn these new things, you have to push beyond your comfort zone. Thank you for the stars and thank you for the hearts. I saw where Sister Sherry said that she wants to write a book. Okay. I think that's what I saw. She wants to write a book. Write a book or article of some sort. Sister Sherry, that is such a great thing. I have a friend that I need to call after I'm finished with this. And the topic that she wants to talk about is how to get her book published. Hey, Wanda, I see you watching. And Sharon Duffield, I see you watching. Anybody else, if you're on here and if I didn't call your name out, say something to me in the chat so I'll know that you're here. Writing a book is a great thing to do. I wrote my first book years ago. And my first book years ago was this. And the book is called Let the Church Say Amen. If you notice this book, I did it on my own, self-published. It's got the, like the wire. It's like I don't know what you call it, but anyway, it's got the wire here. And if you also notice the front of this book, that cover art is by Candace Caldwell. That is a drawing that Candace drew and when she was a little girl. And let me tell you, what I did is, God is so good, is that he gives us a lot of different things, a lot of gifts and talents. And we have to learn how to cultivate those gifts and talents. But he also gives us an ear to hear a lot of different things. And I can recall at one time, God had me writing. Every time I would go to church, almost, it was, the little journals and books that we keep in our Bibles, and we write down the notes that we hear the preachers and teachers preaching and teaching us about. Well, that's what this book is. It's it's a collection, really, of sermons that I heard growing up, and I say growing up, but it's a collection of sermons that I heard during a period of time in my life. And I have journal after journal after journal full of sermons. And so God moved upon me not only to write them down, but then he also moved upon me to publish them. And so this was the very first book that I actually wrote and had published and sold several copies in the Nacogdoches area. And then, of course, God moved upon me again during the summer to create a journal. And not only did I create one, but I created two in a matter of a short amount of time. And hey, just a shameless plug. Listen, if you all haven't purchased these, they are available on Amazon. Go to Amazon and buy these. This helps me to be able to continue to do what I'm doing. But those books, both of those books were self-published. And so it is not, hey, Meg, I see you on here again tonight. Both of those books are self-published. And I'm going to share with you all, maybe next week, I will share with you all information about how to self-publish your books. This is not, it wasn't a hard thing to do. I would say it's a hard thing to do, but it wasn't very hard to publish this, to get this done, because I went the route of self-publishing. And with the company that I self-publish with, they automatically, as long as your book meets certain criteria, hey, Becky, as long as your book meets certain criteria, then Amazon will automatically, hey, Michelle, will automatically publish your books and put it on Amazon. And like I said, I want to share with you all how I was able to do that and how I was able to get these books published and just kind of the whole process. And then there's also a code that I can share with you all from the company that I use, where you can, if you purchase the program, and it's like $7 a month. But if you purchase the program, I can give you like a 20% discount if you use my discount code. But maybe I'll talk about that next week. And so, or either I'll do a live where I'm sharing with you all how to self-publish, well, how to write, and then how to self-publish your books. Because like I said, it is a process that a lot of people, something that a lot of people want to do. And it's something that it's not out of your reach, Sister Sherry. It is not out of your reach, Candace. Even the artwork, I will share with you all how to use different programs that are online, how you can create. This is my creation. And on here, this is my creation. This is not anything that I had to pay somebody to do. It's things that I was able to use some programs online to help do all these things. And so what I want to do is I will share that information with y'all. If it's enough people that want that information, I don't mind sharing that. If you want to join in, just say, hey, I want to learn how to, write my own book and self-publish, and so I know who to contact when I get off of here. So speaking about, as I'm beginning to wrap up, speaking about lifelong learning and I want to encourage you to not give up on learning new things and experiencing new things. Some of you all, it may not be necessarily writing a book that you're wanting to learn how to do. Some of it may be a hobby. Some of it is lifelong learning. Maybe that you want to go and experience a different culture, go and live in a different country. And so those are great things to do. And it's as long as you're alive, as long as you're breathing, you should be learning. Even though, and I see Miss Verdon on here, even though you're retired, I told Miss Verdon not too long ago, I want to be just like her when I retire. She is always on the move and always just doing what she's doing, and she's enjoying life. But I can guarantee you, even though she is doing all of those different things, there is an element of learning in what she's doing. So even though you may be retired, but you still are learning. We as learners, and we as the older generation, we have been charged to teach the younger women. We have been charged to teach them how to be chaste, how to be discreet, how to be keepers of their own homes, how to be lovers of their husbands, how to be a mother to their children. That is what we are being charged to do. So not only are we learning, but we have been given a charge to teach. And so, and if we are being given a charge to teach, then God is going to send some learners our way. And I definitely believe that that's what this platform is all about. And so as I begin to, I'm interested in receiving information about publishing your work. Okay, yeah, if interested, type interested. Thank you, Candace. Thank you very much. So if you're interested in receiving information about publishing your work, type interested in the chat. And so that'll help Candace make sure that she gets your information, and we'll be able to pull together a live where I can share that, or something where I can share that information. As I am wrapping up, and you all, thank you all, the ones that have joined in with me tonight. Again, I like to always say thank you all so very much, because you all don't have to tune in to listen to see what I'm talking about. But I appreciate each and every one of you all when you're joining in and when you're sharing. And also for the ones that are going to listen to this live, this broadcast, or this live stream afterwards. You all, I appreciate you all tuning in. For those that are on the replay, I appreciate you all. You all, I shared on yesterday or Sunday that I am just trying to learn how to navigate these social media platforms. I believe that this is a great forum, a platform to get the messages out about not only when I say grandstanding, not only to share God's goodness, but to just share some things that, Ned said next time go 45 minutes, 30 minutes is too short. Okay, well, I still have a little bit more to say, but my husband's probably going to come in here and say, cut, cut, cut. He always say, leave them wanting more. And that is a good thing. Well, first of all, I enjoy the fact that you all enjoy listening to me. And so, as I was stating, when you are at my age and you're trying to help and you're trying to share and you're trying to teach, that God will send other people your way to listen. And not that I am such a great teacher, not that I am such a great person, and not even that I have such great things to say, but because I consult God and because I'm being obedient, I believe that He gives me the topics of what to talk about. And for those of you all that were with me on Sunday, remember I shared with you all when God gave me how to the different things about this book and everything. Every topic that I have came on and shared with you all for since I've started has been a chapter of my book. And so because it is a chapter of my book, then you all are getting firsthand knowledge of the things that's happening in Conversations from a Mother's Heart. So if you all are enjoying grandstanding with Mother Teresa, you will really enjoy Conversations from the Mother's Heart. So I thank you all for grandstanding with Mother Teresa on tonight. And I will consider going a little bit longer when I come back on for the next time. And I am trying to find my theme music, but my husband is in here wrapping me up. So I've lost my theme music. And so that's what happens when people come into your space and they interrupt you. If you all can hear him in here laughing, I can't even find my theme music. So, yes, Sister Sherry says she's interested. Okay, I hear you. Let me find this theme music so we can go off like we always do. One of the things that, as I was stating earlier, you all, and I will say it again, I will say it over and over and over again. You all do not have to join in with me, but I appreciate you all. I appreciate the fact that you all tune in just to see what I'm going to be talking about. She said, Sister Sherry said, hey, Brother Boris. He done went out now. I think he got shamed because I was talking about him being in here. Listen, I've been trying to get him to join me. And I said, honey, why don't you come on and join me sometime? And Candace said, hum it to us. No, Candace, I'm not you. I can't do that. I asked my husband, I said, why don't you come on and join us? Because God had given us things to do and information to share with couples and married couples. And so we've got a lot that we can share with you all. And but of course, a lot of times and I appreciate my husband so much. And I love the fact, I'm going to tell you all about my husband one of these days. It won't be today, but he has been such a supporter as I'm talking and wrapping up about lifelong learning. My husband he was such a great supporter for me while I was going back to school. I could not have done it without him. And he was the husband that said, honey, you do it. Go to school, do what you want to do. I've got our girls. And he did that. Now, the girls teased and said that everything that he cooked for them had cheese in it, but that's okay. He learned how to comb their hair. He learned how to do all those things, but he did those things in order for me to be able to go back to school. And God has tremendously blessed us because of the sacrifices that we made as a family, not just as a couple, because my girls had to sacrifice, me spending time with them. I remember Candace said, I think it was Candace, said that during her childhood, all she remembered was me going to school. Because not only did I do my associate's degree and then the bachelor's degree. Well, like I said, I'm a lifelong learner. So guess what I did? is I decided that I'm going to go back to school and I am going to do the master's degree. My husband came back in here, y'all. He was going to find the music for me, but I found it. Everything had a slice of cheese. Everything. You're exactly right, Candace. Everything had a slice of cheese on it. But y'all ate it, and y'all, it was good. Thank you all for grandstanding. Let's listen to a little bit of music. Good night, everybody. Thank you for grandstanding with Mother Teresa. Y'all have a great night.